Capote, and here we are again with Heroes because I'm stupid and I've done more testing and I don't feel comfortable leaving the last video up because I don't think it's going to be the best build I can do for the next coming format. I've done a lot of testing, I've done a lot of talking with some people who I believe are really good Yu-Gi-Oh players, and we've all come to a consensus that the best decks are going to be Kashtira, the best deck is going to be Branded Despia, and Sword Soul is going to be strong along with them. So why does this change the deck? Because beforehand, we were meaning for Kashtira, right? We were making sure that everything Kashtira is going to be like, no, screw that. But because Branded Despia is going to be the best deck, I believe that this build is going to be a lot better, and against Kashtira it's still going to be very good, and I'll explain why with all my card choices. This version of the video is going to be a very discussion heavy, not discussion heavy, but a very explanation heavy. So like, I'll explain my card choices, I'll explain why I think it's good. It's going to be slightly longer than the other one. If you just want ratios and a little bit of explanation, I'll do a link in the description below. But this is going to be a very discussion based if you want to see like why I think Heroes should go this way in the next coming format. If you disagree with anything, or if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments or in the Discord community that you can join for free. Anyway, let's get into this. So I'm going to start with the extra deck, which is a little bit weird, but I think that the most important thing is in the extra deck. So first off, a lot of games are going to be very grindy with Branded Despia, Heroes in particular. One of my really good friends plays Branded Despia, and he has for a long time, and I play a lot with him. I play test a lot with the deck against him, and a lot of the games end up going a long time. I've had like 50-minute to an hour long game, like game ones, which is like, damn, you know? Anyway, I think he's a good person to like sort of base this deck off with, but also I've played online, played against other really good players, and they all think the same thing. So this is my like build of the deck, right? So first off, this thing, I don't have one right now because my cat peed on mine, and I don't want to use a peed on card. So this is actually supposed to be the Destiny Hero Dystopia. What Dystopia does is when it is summoned, you can target one Destiny Hero, level 1 to 4 Destiny Hero in your graveyard, and deal damage to your opponent equal to its attack when it is summoned. Then, it, as a quick effect, if it has attack more or less than its original attack, you can put its attack back to the original, and then pop a card on your opponent's field, which is good. It's good. It's good. If you have DP on the field, it's great. If you don't, and it just burns for time, right? And I found that not playing this has made me tie a lot more than I would like, especially in these longer games, right? So I think having an option for time is really important this format, and this is why the Dynatag is, or not Dynatag, I always say Dynatag because that's the one you use to banish for the attack gain. But anyway, then we have the Elemental Hero package. So here we have Elemental Hero Sunrise, Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, Elemental Hero Master Hero Acid. So this one is basically just here because sometimes you need to clear back row, and you can do it with Absolute Zero and Mass Change, right? Absolute Zero is because he's good at clearing boards, especially because your opponent sometimes forgets that you can link it off, which is really funny when they do, because they go like, oh, hey, I'm dead, and it's just funny. And then Sunrise is here because Liquid Soldier is in the deck, and the same thing for the Absolute Zero. I think it's really important to have these in the extra deck, because sometimes you open with only a Vion and nothing else to be able to do anything, and you can just send Shadow Mist, go into Sunrise, search Liquid Soldier, go into a Sunrise, then draw 2, discard 1, maybe draw into something that will help. And if not, if you have something like a dead, what once was a dead EN Shuffle in your hand, you can actually go from Sunrise into Stratos because he is an Elemental Hero and it does count. So I think that's really important. It's a really important interaction that you need to know. Maybe I'll go into how to play heroes in this coming format. Like I'll make a tutorial video. I don't know. But we'll see. Then we have Extra Hero Dread Decimator. This card is like, it's so bad. It's so bad, but I think it's necessary because it comes up a lot. It comes up so much more than you think. It comes up so much more than you think. Sometimes you just need that extra bit of damage. It does piercing, which really helps against a lot. It boosts your heroes all that bit more. And yeah, then we have Malicious Bane. This is another card that I think people want to cut, but I think is not a good idea to cut because of two reasons. One, it's really good at just clearing with, like, dealing with problems and baiting out interruption. Either whether it be on the Adusted Gold, or whether it be on the Dark Calling for spell and trap card negations, or whether it be on the Bane itself with a Mirror Jade banish, right? You can just go like, oh hey, I'll banish this Ferris that I used, and then go into Bane, and then do Mirror Jade, and then you do like, okay, I'll go on with my combo without having to worry about that banish, right? Or other things, right? It's resistant to destruction, so they'll have to use some other way that they could have gotten rid of something else that is more important, such as your DPE, right? And I think it's just really good, especially because it is a level 7 or higher hero monster, which means if you have another Destiny hero monster in your hand, you can actually go into DPE and start your combos that way, if you don't have a way to access a second Destiny hero. Then we have 2 Cross Crusader. Still upset that this card's only a rare, but it's the best extender you have in your deck. I honestly, if you want to cut Bane, I'd say don't, but if you do really want to, I'd say put in a third one of this, or I'd say even cut the Master Hero Acid. The Acid comes up a lot less than Bane does. I think that's the most cuttable card in the extra deck. Then we have 2 Dark Law because we still are playing 3 Mass Change, which might change. I don't know how I feel about Dark Law in this format. It's kind of bad sometimes, but against Branded Despia, it is really good as well. So it's sort of okay against Branded Despia. I wouldn't say good. I said good, but I don't know if I mean it. It's like, okay, it stumps their plays a little. Then we have 2 DPE. Going into the second one is really easy, and they're probably going to clear your first one to Bisteel, so having that option to go into the second one is really nice. Then we have 1 Wonder Drive because we're no longer playing 2 Poly, 1 Blast to make sure the Stratos plays go through, and then this card, which I think is honestly the most important card in the extra deck, which might be me being stupid, but the reason I think this is because Bisteels are still really pronounced. Nibiru is very in the format, and all the Castiera monsters are 25 or less, which is important because here, what this card does is you can discard a card from your hand and select 1 monster card in your opponent's hand, and if you control with a monster with attack greater to or equal to the selected monster, destroy the selected monster. So it does destroy. And most of the time, you're going to have Neos on the field with this. So anything 2,500 or less, you can destroy, which gets rid of a Bisteel. Even if you don't get rid of the Nibiru because it's 3,000, it makes you know that you have a Nibiru. And to get to this, you need to summon an elemental hero, which is usually Stratos, Spirit of Neos, and this card. So that's 4 summons. You can literally just summon once, say a bait summon, and then go to end phase, and they're going to need, if they're a really good player, they might just let you go. But if they're most likely at locals and stuff, they're going to be like, oh, I can Nibiru, I'll get that off. Or if in case you have a mass change or something, and then you can go on with your plays after that with the Nibiru play. But most importantly, it gets rid of Bisteels, and it lets you know what's in your opponent's hand, which is really important for this deck in the coming format because of how much the things that hurt Bisteels hurt this deck as well. So I think this package is really important, and it's why I changed the deck as I did. Then we have in the main deck, we have 3 Elemental Hero Stratos. I think having Elemental Heroes in this deck is really important. Stratos is the best Elemental Hero by far. There is no reason to play 2 Stratos. I know it's really searchable, and I know you can special summon it, and I know it's whatever, but seeing this, or even seeing multiple copies of this, is really good, especially when you have stuff like A Hero Lives, Ian Shuffle. Having the ability to go into a third one later on in the game is just really good, and running out of Stratos early on can lead to, like, you being stuck, because Stratos is such a versatile card. It searches for basically anything in your deck, which is just really important, and it triggers Ian Shuffle, which is also really important. So that's why I play 3 Stratos. I think he's really important, and I don't think you should cut it down to 2. I see a lot of people doing that, but I think they're silly. Then we have 1 elemental hero, Liquid Soldier. The Liquid Soldier is mainly here for recovery plays. You can always just search Liquid Soldier and then go into something later. Or it's here in case you brick and open something that, like maybe Liquid Soldier, a poly, and some other hero monster that you don't want to see. You can just go into Sunrise, draw 2, discard 1, and then go into your normal plays, right? The draw 2, discard 1 is really good. It's only once per turn, but it isn't once per duel. So you can only summon Sunrise, use him to go into something else, and then go into and then next turn use that as sort of recovery to be able to dig deeper in your deck. Then we have 2 Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist I think is not as good as it is in previous formats, because of all the banishing, because of all the crap, and also because the mass change just isn't as strong. So I think 2 is still good, but if you want to cut down to 1, I wouldn't be too upset. Then 1 elemental hero, Honest Neos. I think Honest Neos is really important for getting into your second TPE, for getting rid of problem cards, and also if your opponent sees this game 1 and then in game 2 you literally just want to go to battle and like attack into their monster just as bait, they'll probably do it. They'll probably like trigger an effect just to like get rid of it, and then you can go on your plays without having to worry about problem cards like the stupid super poly from Grave that the Despia Bestial has. Then these 2 are really important for the Marine Dolphin. So what this, having the Neos, it lets you summon it and also use the effect of Marine Dolphin. This searches you instant contact on special summon, and it summons Neos on as an ignition effect, which is really good. It's really, really good, actually. And even if you really, really want to, you can just play Baguska in the extra deck instead of Acid and then end on that. But it's not, like, people are going to play outs for Baguska because they're playing outs for the stupid Kashtira Xyz. But anyway, it's really good. I think it's really important, this format, because of the reasons I explained when I explained Marine Dolphin. Then we have 2 Vision Hero Ferris, 1 Increase, and 2 Vion. I think these cards aren't as important as they used to be. This card is searchable with Stratos. Increase, you really don't want to open your hand, especially when there are so many other good cards that you can open. And Vion's good. You can play 3 of him, but I think the deck is so tight as it is that playing 3 would be sort of icky. Then we have 2 Malicious. This card's silly. Then we have 1 Dark Angel. Dark Angel, I see people cutting it, but with Branded Despia being so good this coming format, and Kashtira having so many powerful spell cards, having this is just going to be good. And they can't tribute summon. The Kashtiras are all level 7, right? Or at least I believe they are. I might be wrong. But so that means they can't tribute summon over this. It means that they can't summon their Unicorn because they have a monster on the field. It means that Branded Despia can't go into their Branded Fusion or their Bestial spells. It also means that they have to try to get rid of it, right? So they can either tribute over it, or they can do something like have a Linkuriboh in their extra deck, which I don't think a lot of people are going to have because this isn't that prevalent. What they're going to have is Linkuriboh because of the Ibli luck, which I don't see as much as I hear talk about. So that might, you can include the Linkuriboh in the extra deck if you want, maybe again instead of the Acid, but we'll see. Then we have 1 Denier. This card is insane. It is the 3rd and 4th copies of Malicious. It's just really good. But you shouldn't play it at more than 1 because all of the important effects happen in Graveyard and they're once per turn or even once per duel. So having multiple copies in the Graveyard is useless. Then we have 1 Plasma. This is probably going to be your main end goal, as opposed to Dark Law this format. Maybe not against Branded Despia because the Dark Law and Dark Angel is a lot stronger against them. But I think Plasma is, against most decks, going to be your end goal, and it's really good, especially when you have DP on the field, right? Then we have 2 Nibiru, the Primal Being. This is important because we play Crossout in the deck, And Crossout, I'll explain more when I get to it, but it's really important. And Nibiru is also just good against every other deck in the format, right? Not that this deck is in the format, because if we're being honest, Hero isn't one of the best decks. It's a decent deck. If it's really fun, I love it to death. It's my favorite deck of all time, but it's not as strong as the others, right? This is just objectively true. But we have to find ways to make it like better so we can compete against the better decks, right? And meaning Nibiru and Crossout is one of them. Then we have the Adusted Gold and the Dark Calling to be able to go into Bane. Then we have the Instant Contact to go into the Marine Dolphin. Then we have 3 Ian Shuffle. Now this is good for various reasons, because it unbricks hands. Say you only have a Shadow Mist in a hand and an Ian Shuffle, you normal the Shadow Mist, go into Stratos, start your combos that way. But also, it's good because it you can go into it off the fusions as well. You can also do the... If you summon Stratos, you can do that into a Spirit of Neos, which is also really good. But also, another effect that it has is that when Elemental Hero Neos is in the graveyard, which you usually do get into the graveyard because, like, why would you want Neos on the field? You can actually shuffle, you can banish this and shuffle it back into the deck to draw a card, which is something that a lot of people don't know about the card, but it makes it even better. Then we have 1 Rhoda and 2 E-Emergence Call. Now, I would have played 3 E-Emergence Call, but again, the deck was getting really tight, and I'd rather play the Reinforcement of the Army over an Emergency Call, because although this searches Honest Neos, this searches a lot more of the deck. Then we have 3 Hero Lives. There's no reason why you shouldn't play 3 of this card. Then 3 Fusion Destiny, because that card's busted. 3 Mass Change. Honestly, if you were to cut down on anything this format, I think Mass Change is the one. It's more searchable than ever with all the cards we have access to, and the ways to summon Shadow Mist. So I would say cut this down to 2 if you want to cut down, or maybe even 1. But I like 2 Mass Change, and I like 3 Mass Change because of how versatile it is and how it helps you go for game. Then we have 1 Miracle Fusion, 1 Poly. I did cut down on the Poly, which sucks because I loved 2 Poly, but I think there's so much more important cards. And then this is just for the Sunrise play. And then we have one of probably the most important card in the main deck, along with the Nibiru's, is Crossout Designator. So the reason why this is necessary for Heroes is because everyone and their mother is going to be maining Nibiru this format. And for all of those who have been playing Heroes for a long time, you know, we hard lose to Nibiru most of the time, especially when you're going for the Plasma board. Yeah, you can get back DP, but with Bystials in the format, that's not going to happen. So Nibiru for us is awful. So playing around it with the Marine Dolphin, or even just saying flat out, no, screw you with Crossout Designator, is important as hell, especially if you're trying to play this competitively, because everyone is going to be main decking Nibiru and Answers to Kashtira. So having this, I think, is really important. Maybe even putting in a Dark Ruler No More into the main deck would be good, maybe instead of a Mass Change, just because I also think that card is going to be really rampant in the format. But for now, that's all. Like I said in the beginning, if you guys disagree with anything in the deck, if you guys like want to help sort of theorize or do anything, join the Discord. If you guys want to you know, talk about stuff like how to build a hero deck, if you guys need help with anything, just let me know. I will help. I will gladly help. I'm a bit busy, so it might take a while for me to answer, but usually I get them. And yeah, just hopefully this helps someone, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. My cat cannot decide between loving me and attacking me. She just doesn't know what to do. She like goes between licking and just attacking, and there we go. Now she doesn't want me. Oh no, she wants to attack me. Okay.